Hello, I'm Davia Chambers with Let's Talk Tobago. Today we're coming to you from Secret Gardens located at All Fields Trace, Lowlands. This peaceful property is designed for your relaxation and comfort. Get ready, our show and tell begins after this week's top headlines. Work teams clean up the sargassum seaweed. Student designs app that could innovate learning, and a marathon swimmer attempts to set a record in Tobago. These stories and more after the break.
Going to Barbados? Why continue to pay high prices when you can get there for only US $231.95, all taxes included? Yes, you heard right. You can now travel to Barbados from Tobago for a mere US $231.95 on Gold's weekly service. So if you're going to Barbados for business, the beach, crop over, or attending university, stop wasting your money on those other high-priced airlines and get there for a fraction of the cost. To book, just log on to www.vogel.com.br. Barbados just got closer.
The Tobago House of Assembly has a plan, the Comprehensive Economic Development Plan, CEDP, and it is for all of us. Are you ready to benefit from higher levels of development in Tobago and a higher standard of living?
We ready!
The priority areas are branding Tobago, clean, green, safe and serene, business development and entrepreneurship.
Are you ready?
Human capital development.
I'm ready.
Social development and resilience.
I'm ready.
Improved infrastructure and utilities. Enhanced safety and security.
I'm ready.
Environmental sustainability. Tourism.
Are you ready?
Marine resources and forestry.
Are you ready?
Good governance and institutional reform.
The CEDP is ready. Join us and get on board.
Let's travel the island, straight back to my land, even to Thailand.
I'm Davia Chambers here at Secret Gardens, a guest house secluded from all distractions. And the secret really is the gardens. Beautiful plants and flowers allow guests to appreciate nature right where they are. Special teams are always on the scene when assistance is needed in a big way. In this case, it's moving sargassum seaweed from our beaches. Omadara Mills has details.
This is just one of about 10 teams from the Unemployment Relief Program, the URP, that's on the beaches along the Atlantic coast, doing their part to remove the buildup of the sargassum seaweed, a task which they started to do since the seaweed started to come upon the island's beaches about 2 years ago, and even more in the last few months.
What we're able to do within a period of time, we wait until the tide is low, right? And we got trucks and backhoe and personnel to take up what we can take up. And in the meantime, we stockpile it at certain different locations where it cannot affect nobody.
The regional supervisor for the West, Ronald Moore, says that the cleanup effort is more effective when it is done in a better calculated manner.
The seaweed, what happens is that we had something you had to monitor, because as I was saying, you clean today and it comes back tomorrow. You have to monitor it, you have to look at it, how it is coming, and then you decide, well, okay, we're going to leave it for a week, and then we start cleaning. What happens is that it comes again, but because of the amount, you have to do it periodically.
The URP is working along with other teams in the THA, such as CPEP, the Department of Natural Resources and the Environment, and local contractors to clear the beaches of the sargassum seaweed. A collaborative approach that's applauded by Mr. Trim.
This is our country, this is our island, right? And if it's there that there's some kind of thing happening in our country, I think we're supposed to forthwith stand forward and get that problem solved.
Besides Speyside, the URP teams continue to do work on the beaches such as John Dial, Hope and Lambo. The department, which is under the Division of Infrastructure and Public Utilities, will also continue to send out teams from time to time to clean other areas as is necessary. I'm Omadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Guests come here to the courtyard to relax, enjoy time with friends, and soak up all the comfort and goodness they can. Sand belongs at the beach. This isn't just something we say. It's the law. If you've taken sand from our beaches or thought about it, don't. And here's why. Josanne Brassi reports.
This is part of the reason tourists come here. Tobago's beaches have been praised by both professional and amateur travelers who can't seem to get enough of the clear blue waters and glistening white sands. It's visitors' idea of paradise, but unfortunately it's also a prize for rogue contractors and the misguided.
Once you remove a small amount of sand or a great amount of sand and it's not replaced, then your beaches start to erode, and it places the coastline in general at risk, because the beach is a barrier that prevents the wave action from impacting directly on the coastline and prevents coastal erosion. You also put the animal life which reside in that ecosystem at risk as well.
For this reason, the Division of Agriculture, Marine Affairs, Marketing and the Environment has to continuously engage and educate the public about the dangers of sand mining. They hope this will create greater awareness and put an end to the practice. It's an approach that's supported by nightly patrols.
The penalty for removing sand from the beaches or sand mining is, one, you could suffer a penalty of about $120,000 for the first offense and a year imprisonment, and a subsequent conviction could result in a penalty of $300,000 and a 3-year imprisonment. So it's a very steep penalty, and that steep penalty reflects the grave nature of the situation.
Climate change and coastal erosion are already eating away at Tobago's beaches and coastlines. This island can ill afford adding sand mining to this dangerous cocktail. I'm Josanne Brassi for Let's Talk Tobago.
This private patio with its lovely surroundings is where romance really begins at Secret Gardens. Come, feel it for yourself. Helping you help your customers is what it's about. But I won't say more. I'll let these small business owners in our next story tell it to you straight.
Giving people great hairstyles is Sharma Jofi's passion since she was a girl. 4 years ago, she decided to open her own salon. But doing this kind of business is not only about making people feel good about their hair. Ms. Jofi wants her customers to feel like they've entered a comfortable and professional environment. So she was happy to qualify for a grant that will assist in improving the look of her business place.
It can help me a lot because my shop really need to fix, and I'm real thankful for the money. And well, I'm trying my best to make my shop look real nice. So that's what I want.
Another one of the 25 grant recipients in this batch is Arlene Clark. She started jewelry making as a hobby in 2008. Over the years, she honed her skills and now does this full-time. Besides the grant, this jewelry maker says that she's excited about the educational sessions that will be provided for entrepreneurs like her, so that she can learn how to successfully grow her business.
When you start out in business, you think it's just about buying and selling. But as you get into it, you recognize there's a whole lot more involved. And it's that part of the business that challenges most persons. And for me, the training that the BDO would have offered, once I got accepted to get the grant, is what is most valuable for me, because that would allow me to develop more and to make more money, more than that little grant, that little seed that they would have given to us.
In addition to the grants and business lectures in areas such as bookkeeping and accounting, the unit also exposes local business owners to trade shows. The grant recipients were urged to take advantage of the opportunities provided by the unit.
We are creating all these facilities to assist you, to give you the exposure that you will be able to take your business to the next level. Again, the Business Development Unit, we are committed to holding your hand.
The Business Development Unit comes under the Division of Finance and Enterprise Development. The unit was set up to encourage more Tobagonians to get involved in the private sector so that they can help diversify and strengthen Tobago's economy. I'm Umudara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
If we make a way such as creating a computer camp or offering an invention contest, we're sure to find him or her who can take us into the future. Let's Talk Tobago continues after these messages.
Welcome to the Scarborough Library facility. Here we utilize the latest technology to bring you library and information services. Once inside, the staff at the information desk will direct you to the relevant department. And now, our CSR Darian will help you through the registration process.
Hi, good day. Ready to register?
Hi, good afternoon. Yes, please.
Can you see your documents? One completed form, photo identification, and utility bill?
Yes.
Thanks much. This is your library card. It displays your user ID as well as your barcode. This information is also reflected on the reverse side. If you'd like, you can tear along the perforated line to detach the two pieces. This can be kept in your keychain, the other can be kept in your wallet or your purse.
But the Scarborough Library facility is so much more than just physical books. Once registered, you can log on to our website at library.diaz.gov.tt. Scroll down to select the NALIS link. Once you are connected to the NALIS website, you can then download the Overdrive app to your Apple or Android devices. Using your personal account, you can borrow ebooks and access online databases. Renewal of physical books can also be done online. The new Scarborough Library facility will revolutionize your library experience, where information inspires innovation.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tobago. I'm Davia Chambers in the spacious living room of the Anthurium Villa. This 3-bedroom suite has 2 bathrooms, 2 private patios, and amenities to make your stay pleasurable. I don't know if I'm more excited about the ingenuity of a secondary school student or the fact that his innovation promotes education. Here's Anastasia Alexis with a young man who's making the grade.
He's a 5th former at Goodwood Secondary School, but he is also a self-taught computer programmer. This Wizkid created this, an educational network called Seeker, which he entered into the Prime Minister's Scientific Innovation and Invention Competition and placed third.
Although the project was challenging, I love challenges, so I took that challenge to create something very innovative. So 2 years I began coding. So I created my first product, which was Gata. That was a social network. So I said there are already plenty of social networks out there, so I want to create an educational network.
But what is Seeker really? It's a platform which promotes students' peer-to-peer learning and will increase the effectiveness of the learning process from the classroom to home. Arta says Seeker can be used for online textbook and study material library, homework assignment and collection center, direct communication between parents and teachers, educational interactive games, curriculum updates, and so much more. It's no surprise why he placed in the top 3 out of over 500 entrants.
Everyone loves to learn, but it's how they learn which makes a difference. So I created Seeker to make them learn their learning styles. So when I learn their learning styles, they'll be able to act on that.
While Seeker is only being used by Arta and his family members at the moment, he has higher goals for his software.
My plan is to make this program go on the educational issued laptops from the government.
The principal at Goodwood Secondary School says that she will be in discussion with staff to find the best possible way to utilize Arta's software in the school as it can greatly assist students. I'm Anastasia Alexis for Let's Talk Tobago.
This open kitchen is fully equipped with modern appliances to ensure that you have a fun-filled cooking experience here at Secret Gardens. Teens and 20-somethings, do you love taking pictures? And I don't mean just selfies. If you're a budding photographer, this story may be right for you.
When you're imaginative, you see beauty in almost anything. But it's even better when you capture that moment in time and get creative with how you want that photo to be remembered. Well, the next time this happens, particularly in Tobago, take that shot and submit it to the Department of Youth Affairs' 3rd annual photo contest.
One is the Tobago experience, and the Tobago experience focuses on events, objects, and activities connecting Tobagonians to their history as well as their cultural heritage. All right, the second category is the black and white composition. And the black and white composition is really focused on the classical appeal, and as such will bring forth historical yet modern elements of what is Tobago. All right, the other aspect is healthy lifestyles and you, and that's the third photo category this year, and that seeks to treat with images captured that will seek to highlight all walks of life as it relates to Tobago's youth and the promotion of healthy living. So anything related to the promotion of healthy living, and similarly as well, there's nature and landscape.
But it's not just photography. There's another category which was added for the first time last year.
This year, it's a 2-minute video that persons are asked to submit, no longer than 2 minutes, and it focuses, it has to focus and relate to youth and safe sex practices.
And you don't have to be a professional photographer to enter. The competition is open to amateurs too.
The whole idea of technology and the use of social media, smartphones, tablets, iPads, etc. Has really gone above and beyond. And really the photography contest is intended to capture both the average user of social media and or the technology, as well as the person who may be the expert. So it's really an opportunity to encourage our youth to participate in something positive, utilizing the technology which they have access to.
To enter, you must be a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago and a resident of Tobago between the ages of 12 to 29. Interested persons can choose any 2 categories and submit up to 2 entries per category. Entries must be original untouched images in JPEG format. Entries must be submitted with your name, sex, age and contact information to mydya@tobago@yahoo.com by Monday, September 21st, 2015. Over $90,000 will be distributed in prizes. I'm Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
Awaken your appreciation for a green environment. Guests in an upstairs suite get a clear view of the garden right here from the balcony. Now you may have had this experience. You take your hard-earned money and make a purchase, small or large, and then you're left feeling victimized by the process and dissatisfied with the product. Well, there's something you can do about it.
The protection of consumers' health, safety and money is the objective of the Consumer Affairs Unit. The unit receives hundreds of complaints, and of the valid ones, they boast of over 90% success rate in getting people repairs, replacements or refunds. But in doing so, the unit seeks to be fair and balanced when dealing with the businesses and the consumers.
Businesses can be assured of the fact that we don't just take everything that a consumer says. That's why we always make contact with the business and hear their side of the story before we even start to investigate the complaint. We take the information from the consumer and then we look at it, and then we speak to the business, and then we actually might lodge it formally and start to investigate the complaint.
In addition to dealing with grievances, the unit carries out various consumer awareness campaigns via the media, caravans and lectures, so that the buying public is aware of their role in the process.
With that, the consumers will become more empowered. They would know, they will have more knowledge about what's their rights and their responsibilities, and they become empowered in making better decisions. So the whole purpose, in fact, the nucleus of our unit is to get consumers to be more educated, and by becoming more educated, you're empowered to make better decisions.
The unit is under the Division of Finance and Enterprise Development. As such, its objectives of ensuring that the consumer's interests are protected are in keeping with the Assembly's vision for sustainable growth in Tobago.
Any sort of development that's supposed to take place anywhere in the world, it will thrive upon proper consumerism taking place.
The public can look out for a consumer caravan in the coming months that will deal with sensitizing the public about the importance of careful spending, particularly around the Christmas season. I'm Omodara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
59 kilometers long in courage and inspiration. That's 1.5 times the length of Tobago. This story and more after the break. Stay with us.
Going to Barbados? Why continue to pay high prices when you can get there for only US $231.95, all taxes included? Yes, you heard right. You can now travel to Barbados from Tobago for a mere US $231.95 on Gold's weekly service. So if you're going to Barbados for business, the beach, crop over, or attending university, stop wasting your money on those other high-priced airlines and get there for a fraction of the cost. To book, just log on to www.vogel.com.br. Barbados just got closer.
The Tobago House of Assembly has a plan, the Comprehensive Economic Development Plan, CEDP, and it is for all of us. Are you ready to benefit from higher levels of development in Tobago and a higher standard of living?
We ready!
The priority areas are branding Tobago, clean, green, safe, and serene. Business development and entrepreneurship.
Are you ready?
Human capital development.
I'm ready.
Social development and resilience.
I'm ready.
Improved infrastructure and utilities. Enhanced safety and security.
I'm ready.
Environmental sustainability. Tourism.
Are you ready?
Marine resources and forestry.
Are you ready?
Good governance and institutional reform.
The CEDP is ready. Join us and get on board.
Let's travel the island, straight back to my land, even to Thailand. Anyway,
Thanks for staying with Let's Talk Tobago. I'm Davia Chambers at Secret Gardens. It's inviting here as its design allows guests to feel right at home. Now, when veteran swimmer Kathleen Wilson set her new goal in motion, did she know she could inspire young local swimmers, build an inter-island bond, record a momentous feat, and create international coverage for Tobago?
Swimming is just one of the passions of City Councillor and professional harpist Kathleen Wilson. Mrs. Wilson started to do open water swimming in the late 1990s. She has completed swim feats in places such as the English Channel, Hawaii's Molokai Channel, and now she's attempting to add Tobago to Toko to her list.
It's warm water. I'm used to swimming in cold water, and cold water is difficult. So a warm water swim is of great appeal. And I had a friend from my town of Charleston, South Carolina, who has a home here in Tobago, and she and her husband very graciously said to please come over and be their guests. So the time was right.
Okay.
And September is the best month for a swim because of the conditions.
The swim is about 25 miles. It starts from the Bacoleta Beach, since that area will help Kathleen combat the strong current, and swims like the one from Tobago to Toko last all day. So with these conditions, why is Kathleen drawn to the challenges of open water swimming?
I like the open water because of the freedom and the size of the ocean. I'm comfortable swimming in the ocean, and I enjoy it more than swimming in a pool and turning constantly.
It's unlikely that a marathon swimmer will get no wind and flat waters in a Tobago to Trinidad swim, but Kathleen's attempt can stimulate interest for other marathon swimmers to come to the island and swim the distance. It's an avenue that will help to boost the THA's sporting tourism thrust. More than that, this master swim instructor says that swimming is particularly helpful for those living on an island.
Swimming is, obviously it's a skill and it's a sport and it's a very good skill to know, but it's a life-saving skill too.
Mrs. Wilson was only able to swim for about 6 miles in a little over 3 hours before falling sick. It's the first time that has happened in her 18 years of open water swimming. However, that will not stop this marathon swimmer from attempting the distance in about a year's time. I'm Umadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
This bit of paradise also has a pool which teases you to dive in and enjoy the glow of the sun. Did you know that termites are on the edible foods list? Don't be bugged out by this, but you may find termites in Tobago and people who want to eat them, or maybe just one traveler. Now, I don't think there's any Come to Tobago for Tasty Termites promo, but in case you're curious, here's Caroline Wallace to let you know what these buggers taste like.
Have you ever watched Bizarre Foods with Andrew Zimmerman? Well, he travels around the world eating, you guessed it, bizarre foods like snakes. He hasn't eaten anything in Tobago as yet. But this wildlife explorer
So today we're on the island of Tobago
from Toledo Zoo in the United States beat him to it when he came to the island to explore our flora and fauna.
I'm looking for one of the most abundant and productive insect colonies in the forest. So if you haven't guessed it already, this is a termite colony. Termites are incredible. This entire thing is actually made of feces, chewed up wood, and saliva. And there are vents all over it that allow a breeze to come through and keep the area cool. So termites are detritivores, and they are actually really important for an ecosystem like this because they'll chew up decayed wood, decayed plant matter. And it's interesting because the workers are the ones that contain the enzymes that allow them to digest cellulose.
And he had this, a perfect snack as he calls it, since termites are actually a good source of protein.
I guess we'll give these guys a try. That's actually not bad. They taste really minty, actually. It's kind of weird. And you gotta make sure you're chewing them too, because you can feel them wiggling around in your mouth. But yeah, my first impression is it's minty, but then the aftertaste is carrots. So it tastes a little bit like minty carrots.
So who knows, this might just be the motivation our next set of visitors need to book a ticket to Tobago, just to experience our minty termites. I'm Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
Now it's time for you, our viewers, to have your say. The voters had their say on September 7th, and PNM's Tobago-born Dr. Keith Rowley was sworn in as Trinidad and Tobago's new Prime Minister. Now it's time to get to work and move forward together. So a question this week, what are your expectations of your newly elected representatives? This is what you said.
I expect that Tobago will get its best treatment ever, knowing very well that Dr. Rowley from Tobago.
I believe that they will do better and that things will work out.
They will do very well. They're young, intelligent women.
I hope that they could work with the youths because the youths out here is that they need a lot of help.
As I said, they wanted to see Tobago for autonomy, so I want to see what they can do. Give them a chance to see how best they can work out things for Tobago.
I expecting Dr. Keith Rowley to do some good things.
The community see about everything in the community.
Develop the Tobago in a more better way.
We have to be very adamant in demanding what we want from the people who we employ to take care of our affairs.
I would love them to perform, stand with us, who stand with them.
That's all for us this week on Let's Talk Tobago. Remember, you can send us your comments or queries on anything you've seen in this program to information@tha.gov.tt, or you can even visit us at www.tha.gov.tt. Like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Davia Chambers on behalf of all of us at the Department of Information. Have a safe and enjoyable week. See you next time.